Hi, I'm Charlie Bruce with Mark Knutson here. And we're here with Disability Landscape, and we've got a couple of great guests to tell you about. Mark?
Yeah, today we're going to be talking with Sam, Jasmine, and Charlene Dahl. They host a radio show every Thursday evening at 7 o'clock on KFAI Radio.
6 o'clock.
What's 7 o'clock?
6 o'clock.
Oh, 6 o'clock. Oh,
6 o'clock.
Oh, 6 o'clock.
Thank you for the correction.
Thank you for the correction. So if we could bring up Sam, Jasmine, and Charlene Dahl. There's Sam. Has it always been 6 o'clock? I thought it was 7 o'clock.
Oh, we've moved all over the place.
Okay. I guess I'll just start off with the first question. We'd like each of you just kind of describe your background, and then we'll talk a little bit about KFAI. But let's just hear about each of yours background.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah, sorry, Sam. Yep.
That's okay. Let's see. Well, I don't know where to start, except that I'll just tell you my day job is that I teach technology. I have my own business called Access Education.
Okay.
I also make accessible dartboards for the blind, and so I do both of those. And in my evening volunteer time, I like to do a lot of different things. Playing darts is one of them, but I also do a radio show called Disability and Progress.
Yep.
Which I'm sure you'll talk about more later.
Right. Yep. Exactly. Yep. Okay. So what about you?
There you go.
There you go, Charlene. Just a little bit about yourself then.
Yeah, I'm Charlene Dahl, and I was drafted by Sam several years ago to cover with the Disability in Progress. I am actually a transplant from Northern Illinois. I worked for the VA in North Chicago for 27 years.
Oh, wow.
Retired from there.
Okay.
And came to Minnesota and got involved in some audio darts and helping Sam with the Disability in Progress, and I'm a deaconess in my church, so pretty busy person.
Okay.
So, if you ladies could tell us what's the history of getting involved with the KFAI and the program that you're currently doing.
Well, I'll start again because I think that I can't expect Charlene to do it all there.
Right.
I got involved at KFAI in the 90s. KFAI has been around since the 70s.
Okay.
And,
Wow.
I, of course, did not know. I mean, they've been around a long time. And I came to Minneapolis shortly after I had my first child. And so he was very young, and I had just finished broadcasting school for Brown Institute.
Yes,
They're no longer here.
Right,
But,
exactly, yeah.
So I had quickly learned that a lot of radio people who graduated first hold overnight shifts, and I had just had a baby not so long ago. I had no desire to hold an overnight shift.
Right. You had your own overnight shift, yeah.
And they get paid very badly.
Yeah.
And so I decided that I don't know if I want to be, a radio host, or, I loved DJing, but maybe there was something else. And I went on to do other things that I almost thought that the radio stuff wouldn't happen. And then a friend of mine came to me and said, I know somebody who volunteers at KFAI, and she does a radio show, and she needs an engineer, which it was perfect, because I had learned how to do that. And her name was Martha Haig, and she had already had the radio show for a year. And then it was called Disabled and Proud. And so she had done that, and then her engineering announced to her, I'm leaving. Good luck, find yourself another engineer. So I came in, she was holding kind of interviews, and this was a volunteer thing, but
Right.
She was holding interviews, and I guess I kind of saw it as, well, it won't be paid, but I can still keep my feet in the water, and I can still, who knows what it would lead to. And so, and I loved engineering. So I came in and there was 2 other people. And I thought, uh-oh.
Right, yeah.
And they could see. And I thought, uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
And so one of them, she asked a question. I don't even know if I can remember what question. She was asking basic stuff. And
Right.
2 of us answered. The other one didn't. And so she was out. And then we kept answering questions, I think, very well. And it was coming to the end, and I could tell that poor Martha was kind of in a quandary. Like, what should she do? Who should she pick? And she said, well, you'll have to go through training. And I said, well, I have a license already. There you go. So at least I had the license, and I was pretty much a shoo-in then. So I was lucky.
Okay.
And so I started then and was her engineer for several years. I started in about 94, and I was her engineer for about 10 years or so.
Wow.
And then she is like, well, I'm kind of tired, but I don't think, I'd hate to let the show go.
Yep.
And so I had often, once in a while stepped into the role of interviewing and engineering, which I really enjoyed the interview part.
Right.
And the engineering. So I decided, I could probably do this. And I did decide to take it. And then flash forward, let's see, I don't know, 5 years ago, maybe. I should write these things down. But Charlene moved to Minneapolis, and she had been here a little while, and she was thinking she was going to get a new job. But I said, hey, you should do some volunteer stuff. She's like,
Okay,
yeah,
so-
good. I said, yeah, you should help me with my show.
Yeah, so let's hear from Charlene then.
Oh, would you?
Yeah, let's hear from
I kind
Charlene.
of hooked her in there.
Exactly, there you
Charlene,
go.
you can take it from
Yeah,
here.
Charlene, then why don't you
gave her a
talk
little prompt there.
about how you get,
Yeah,
we'll say involved, but hooked into it.
Yeah, I kind of got drafted. I had actually done a couple of interviews with Sam for another, actually audio darts, and so
Okay.
and we knew each other from some other things, and I have a lot of skills because I was a recreation therapist, so I have the ability to probe people and get information out of them, and
Right.
find volunteers and all that kind of stuff. And so
Exactly.
it's been a good fit. I've had a lot of fun looking for people and occasionally doing an interview, which gives me hives or whatever. But
Right. And then, Charlene, what brought you to Minnesota then?
I had a kind of forced retirement from the VA.
Oh, okay.
That's
I went to
unfortunate.
guide dog school. I went to guide dog school to get a second dog, and I met somebody there who lived here. And she
Okay.
said, well, you're in life transition. You should just move to Minnesota. So I did.
There you go. I kid because I know people that have come here and they really like the services and they don't leave. So yeah, like I always tell people, come for the services, and then the winter will weed out all the weak people because then they leave and go back and they can't handle the winter and that. So
That is Minnesota
And
for you.
I will say that Charlene was with me. The show was Disabled and Proud for a long time, but I just, it was Martha's name. It was a good name at the time, and I think for me, I just felt like there should be more. And so I searched for a long time, and so Charlene was with me when that show actually went through a name change.
We
okay.
had a time frame.
And progress.
We went from a half hour to an hour.
That's right.
nice.
That's the
Oh, you
time
did.
change. So we really grew.
Yeah.
We used to be just a half hour long for a long time, and then the manager brought me in, and he says, how do you like your half hour? I'm like, well, it's fine. He says, do you ever wish for more? And I said, well, there's sometimes I'd like to steal about 15 minutes from another show.
Right, yeah.
I thought about asking him. He says, well, I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you an hour. No, wait, I said 15 minutes. He says, no, I think you should have an hour. You can do that.
Well,
It's fine.
I will say, me and Charlie, when I told him, I said, they do an hour. We're just trying to have enough, just trying to do a half hour. We better not even complain about a half hour in front of them. Charlie, you got something?
Yeah, it's
So,
It has been an interesting switch. You really have to kind of. Well, I got so used to doing the half hour. It was just kind of ABC,
Right,
very easy.
right, exactly.
Now you have to think.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So now you got to find out how to fill that extra half hour. And on that subject,
Yeah.
then, what are the kind of shows or guests that you've had on, and kind of topics you talk about?
oh, geez. Well, we cover so many.
Yeah, you
topics.
do, yeah.
That's one of the things that I tried not to do. We're both visually impaired, and I really tried not to just be pigeonholed. And I know there are some shows that do just blind stuff, and some shows that do, very, one-sided things.
Right.
And I don't mean to say one-sided, but just one type of disability.
Right, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And I really think there's so much out there that, and the variety keeps it fresh. We try to cover everything from disability authors to medical stuff to, I know Charlene has had some favorites. I think, you go ahead, Charlene, what are some of your favorites that we've done?
Well, we've covered the very serious things to the fun things. Like we did a show with a gentleman in I can't remember the state. His name was Matthew Chevron, and he did Legos for
sounds
He
okay.
figured out how to give their directions and
Okay.
instructions. And what a fun thing! And for the theme of the show that night, Sam had the Legos song, So
Yeah.
that was one of our fun things.
I'll confess, I'm a
We cover a lot of
57-year-old.
them.
I'm a 57-year-old man, and my house is littered with Legos, and I have no children.
Yeah, he's true.
There you go.
What is,
I
Charlene, with the serious topics, what kind of serious topics have you two covered in that then? Sure.
We talked about access.
Okay.
For people with their guide dogs and wheelchair access.
Yeah.
We talked to,
We've done
everything you could think of, we've turned every stone.
Okay.
I
Right.
think one of my favorite ones was, I actually had a listener email me about, she had chronic kidney disease. And she said, I really wish you'd cover this topic. It's so important. And I didn't realize how serious hers was. She was in like stage 3, stage 4. It was pretty up there.
Okay.
And she was very passionate about it. So what was really fun about that is we went to the U, we found a doctor who could talk about chronic kidney disease.
I
She
heard
actually
that
came
show.
on the show.
I heard that
And we
show.
brought her on, and she was able to kind of fill in like what it was like for her living with this disease and how she managed having a family and just kind of living every day.
Yeah.
And along with the doctor, and I think that was one of my favorite ones.
Okay.
I mean, we have a lot of favorites, so I can't say it was the favorite, but what made it good for me, I think, was we actually incorporated the community, and I think there's a lot of times that we speak to the community, we bring people in that have a lot of information on like breast cancer, brain cancer, spinal cord injuries, but we don't always include the community.
Right.
We try to educate them, but bringing her in to talk about her stuff made me feel like we were actually including the community.
That's
Okay.
very cool. That's
Yeah.
very cool.
And then,
One of my other
oh yeah, go ahead. Yep.
One of my other favorite things, unfortunately it's not a good favorite, but it's timely, is we've interviewed Michelle Gross from the, I can't remember her organization, she's the lawyer who helps people with disabilities who've been abused by the police.
Oh, yes.
We've
Oh,
done
yeah.
her a couple of times, she's an awesome lady.
Okay.
That's very cool. Say, what kind of resources do you know of that are available for people with visual impairments?
Well, there's a lot of them out there.
Well, not only the resources, I think, Sam, you and I talked on the phone just a little bit, not only resources, but the proper terminology. Do we use visually impaired or blind? Touch on those types of, on those matters. That would be great. Either Sam or Jasmine, however you want it. I mean, Sam or Charlene.
So I think the resources are tricky. It depends what kind of disability you're talking about.
For the visually
Like-
impaired.
I think the World Wide Web is a wonderful thing, and you can often Google, what you're looking for.
Right.
I think, there is no one-stop shop for all disabilities.
Yeah.
I
Right.
think, for resources as far as that goes, it'd be great if they were. I don't know if I know any.
Right. Is there like
Charlene?
services for the blind? Is there?
But that's services for the blind.
Okay.
That is
Yeah.
for the blind.
Yeah, and that's
There's
what we want.
disability out there.
Right, that's what we want to talk about, visual
Okay,
impairment
so-
and blind and that. Yep, just that.
If you're
Exactly.
talking about visual impairments,
Yep.
there is services for the blind who people can get involved with. There's rehab centers, there's blinding, there's vision loss resources, and there's independent vendors like me who work independently with people, but we contract through the state. So if
Okay.
people don't want to go to, a whole rehab center, if they just want pieces of things,
Okay.
we do that. And what else would you suggest, Charlene? Anything?
Oh, well, you have distance learning things like the Hadley School for the Blind, where you
Hadley's
learn
another good thing that
Okay.
you can, and Hadley's free.
American Foundation for the Blind, which also does a lot of information, help people start their resumes and that kind of stuff. That's all online. The
Okay.
web has changed access.
Right.
for a lot
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah. I
Very
guess
cool.
I would like to just real quickly just finish up. And I talked with Sam about this on the phone because I met Sam about 5 years ago, and she was involved with an event at Patrick's Cabaret. And I told Charlie, Sam, that when this COVID stuff is done, I'd really like to videotape you and that routine you had with a friend where you simulated, were you guys taxi cab drivers or just friends in a car or something like that? What was that skit?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So that was that was a skit that I did. I actually was on the board for an organization that also has folded now. They were called VSA. And
Oh, VSA,
they did
that's right. Yep, okay.
A lot of promoting arts for Minnesota. They supported people who were authors and poets and painters and drawers, all sorts of artists, and were very involved in getting theaters, pushing them
Yep.
to do more audio description and ASL. Now, it's so common to see theaters doing ASL and audio description.
Right.
And before them, it certainly wasn't. And so this, one of the co-owners of that particular business was, he liked to write. And so he would occasionally write plays and submit them to various places.
Okay.
And I was roped in by him
Cool.
to be in one of his plays along with another friend of mine.
Okay.
And it was just about two people out in the parking lot talking about taking a car and driving to blank, or we were talking
Right.
about
Yeah.
all the things that you had to deal with,
Okay.
not being able to drive.
Okay.
So
Well,
it was fun.
Yeah, being we're a YouTube channel in the video media, as when COVID gets done, when it does get done, sometime I like to get a taping of that and put it on our channel. But yeah, we're going to wrap up here. So I want to thank Sam, Jasmine, and Charlene Dahl from Disability in Progress on KFAI Radio at 6 o'clock. So now I've got that straightened out.
6 o'clock Thursday nights.
Yep, 6 o'clock Thursday night, so you'll have a show tonight and that. So thank you, Sam, and thank you, Charlene.
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
very
guys.
much.
All right.
And good luck with the channel. I hope it does well.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch because we want to do some things with you. Okay, talk to you later.
All
Bye-bye.
right. And
Bye.
we will be back shortly with more with Disability Landscape.